In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a few interesting charts to get us prepared for the week ahead. Last week was an amazing week. We had some really good trades and some bad trades, right? But I think the market is well positioned for great trade opportunities this coming week. So that's why we're going to be taking a look at about 8 different charts analysis to get us prepared for the price action we're going to be seeing this week. If you love the content, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comment section. And if you're interested in learning to trade Forex like a professional, want to learn to carry out professional market analysis like I do every Sunday, check out our course on Udemy. I have the link attached in the description below. And lastly, before we get started, try to follow up with our shorts. We put out, videos on YouTube shorts every 2 days. Try to follow up with those shorts because we share really great, important trade tips. So that being said, let's get started. This is the gold chart on a 4 hours time frame. I'm going to try to be brief. As you can see, like I said last week, I didn't expect much from gold, and we saw exactly that. We had gold ranging between the rectangle, and I'm going to be watching out for a bearish breakout to go short, right? So I'm going to wait for price to break below this support level for me to go short. So this is the only reason I'm going to go short on gold. As you can see, we are clearly still trading within this ascending channel, right? So there's a good chance we come into this level pretending to have broken the ascending channel, and then we bounce up because this is still a very good, bullish setup. So in order for us to validate our short positions, we wait for price to take out these lows, because as you can see, we had multiple rejections from this support level. So this is going to be our scenario to go short if indeed price, takes out this low. As for a long position, I'm just going to wait for price to come into this resistance level, consolidate a little, maybe 1 or 2 pullbacks, then a break of this resistance level will give me, my confidence, will increase my confidence to go long on this trade. And I'm going to target this high as my first target. Whereas for a short position, I'm going to target this lows as my first target, right? And we take it from there, however the price evolves. And if we go lower, next target is going to be these price levels, and so on and so forth. So remember, this highs here is just around the all-time highs on gold. So I don't think we're going to be breaking the all-time highs anytime soon. So this is briefly for gold. I don't want to spend much time. Mind you, for me to, open a position, I'm going to do this on a lower time frame. So like the 1 hour time frame. I'm just going to go there real quick. So we just discussed my outlook on the 4 hours time frame. So on the 1 hour time frame is where I'm going to look towards, opening my short position or my long position according to these expectations from the market, right? So just to repeat once more, I'm just going to wait for price to come into this level, consolidate a little, then give us a bearish breakout. So taking out this low and this low, this will be my scenario to go short. So my entry is going to be below this level, and my stop loss is going to be just a little bit above the consolidation that leads to the breakout to give me that tight risk to reward ratio, right? So for a long position, I'm going to wait for price to creep into this resistance level, consolidate a little with maybe 1 or 2 price reversals, then finally a bullish breakout. So my entry is going to be around here, while my stop loss is going to be below the consolidation that leads to the breakout. So these are trade price action. So that's it briefly for gold. Real quick, we're going to be talking about Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is something we'll be following up over the past few weeks, right? So clearly in a downtrend with price forming lower highs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But right now, we took out this area of value after making a double bottom, or you can call this a triple bottom as the case may be. I'm just going to zoom in a little. So this is a triple bottom. So we have 1, 2, 3, which is a good sign of, a trend reversal, right? So there's a good chance we might be reversing from this trend temporarily. But we are going to get our confirmation as price continues to make higher highs and higher lows. So you can see we made a higher high here, higher than this one, a higher low, higher than this one. Now we made a consolidation above this area of value. So we had a retest of this area of value, and now we're kind of like having a rectangle, a bullish rectangle above this area of value. So we had 1 reversal, 2, 3. So we have a bullish rectangle. So if we get a breakout from this rectangle, I'm going to go long targeting these highs here, right? I'm going short on Nasdaq. So this is the daily time frame. I'm going to briefly go to the 1 hour time frame to show you what I'm talking about. So on the 1 hour time frame, so I hope this is clearly visible. I'm just going to try to go through this real fast. So on the 1 hour time frame, we seem to have broken the resistance level of the rectangle. So this is the rectangle we're talking about on the daily time frame, right? So this was just a huge rejection, because this is basically a bullish continuation pattern, right? So we seem to have gotten a bullish breakout from this rectangle, but I wouldn't be jumping into a trade right now, because if I do that, my stop loss would have to be, if I go into a trade here, my stop loss will have to be below this lows, and that will be around 160 pips, which is just too wide for me, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for some sort of consolidation, right? So I'm going to wait for either price moving to the upside and retesting this resistance level from the rectangle as a confirmation with a bullish reversal. So that will be one case scenario, right? Just give me a minute. So because this is a huge level, so if we should go up and retest this level, I'm going to wait for a very solid reversal candlestick from this level for me to go long to get that tight risk to reward ratio. So that reversal candle is usually a bullish engulfing candle. So that's my pattern. I prefer the bullish engulfing candle because they are much more stronger compared to the doji or any other candlestick pattern. So if we get a bullish engulfing candle when we have a retest, then that will be my signal to go long. So when I go long, my stop loss is just going to be below the lows of the bullish engulfing candle, because it's going to give me a very tight stop loss, maybe 20 pips or 30 pips, and I'm just going to enter the trade and ride the trade as we go higher, aiming for these highs here. So alternatively, we might get some sort of rejection. So the market has a way of playing tricks, so we might get some sort of rejection, right? A small consolidation at this level, and then a bullish breakout. So this would be another scenario to go long, where I'm going to go long here, and my stop loss is going to be below the consolidation that leads to the breakout. So this I'm going to trade Nasdaq. Other than this, I'm not going to go short because there's a good chance we reverse to the downside, right? So a good chance we reverse to the downside, but that's just going to be taking too much risk on my part, right? According to my trading plan, my trading strategy, I am not going to go long. I'm not going to go short on this, because you can clearly see the bullish setup on the 1 hour, on the daily time frame, excuse me. So current analysis on the daily time frame, go down to the 4 hour time frame, the same bullish setup, then we pick our entry on the 1 hour time frame. So why go short on this kind of setup when it's clearly showing us bullish signs of upward movements? So that's just how it works for me, right? So even if we go down, I won't feel any regret, because clearly this is a bullish setup. So moving on, we're going to talk about US30. We've got so many users from our Discord disturbing about US30. So I'm going to take a quick look at this right now, okay? So this is a daily chart on the US30. It's an indices similar to the Nasdaq, but it's comprised of different companies other than the companies you have on the Nasdaq index. So we are slowly coming into an area of resistance. I think this is a very solid resistance where we might see some bearish pressure that would probably lead to a reversal, right? So this is what I'm watching out for on US30. I don't think we will be taking out the resistance, because there's just so many things happening in the US economy right now. I don't think the bulls have enough strength to push beyond this resistance level, right? So I'm going to go down. That's just my bias, right? So I might be wrong, but this is how I'm going to trade US30. So I'm going to go down to the lower time frame. The only scenario in which I'm going to go long is if we get a very good breakout, a retest, and a bullish reversal. This will be my scenario to go long on US30, and I'm going to wait for these confirmations on the daily time frame, because the 1 hour time frame or the 2 hours time frame is just too volatile, because we might easily get fake outs, right? So I'm going to wait for daily time frames for my confirmations before going long, and that confirmation will be waiting for a breakout, a retest, and then a bullish move. Alternatively, I could also wait for a breakout, a good consolidation above this level, a breakout from that consolidation on the daily time frame before I go long on US30. I'm going to go down to the lower time frame now. So let's say 2 hours time frame. You can see we are clearly trading close to this resistance level. So I don't think it would be logical to jump into a trade right now, except maybe you took a trade on Friday, following this setup. So a breakout, a retest of this trend line, followed by a bullish move. So if you are in a trade right now, I think your best target will be waiting for price to come into this resistance level anywhere around this range, right? Close your long positions and then look for an opportunity to go short. So your opportunity to go short will be waiting for a candlestick reversal pattern. So it could be a bearish engulfing candle, right? Those are, or that's the most valuable candlestick reversal pattern in my opinion. They are much more valuable than dojis, right? The bearish engulfing candle or the bullish engulfing candle. So I'm going to be watching out for a bearish engulfing candle, right, on the higher time frame, maybe on the daily time frame or on the 4 hours time frame, for me to confirm a potential bearish reversal, because this is in a bearish trend, as we saw on the higher time from the daily time frame. So I'm going to wait for price to come into these levels, and I'm going to look for opportunity to go short, right? If I get those candlestick reversal. Alternatively, I'll simply wait for price to get into this level, maybe reverse a little, giving us a higher low, reverse again, and breaking this low. So getting into a trade here would be the most probable scenario. So waiting for price to come into this area of value, giving us a higher low. So this low here will be higher than this one, giving us a lower high, higher than this high, then taking out this low. So when we take out this low, this would be my scenario to go short. So this is another method of confirmation using market structure to go short on US30. So this would require you to be a little bit patient, right? If you don't get that candlestick reversal pattern over here at the resistance level to give you the sniper entry you solely crave for. So this will be another scenario to go short, but this will require more patience. So for a long position, I'm going to wait for us to break through this resistance level with a good retest or a consolidation before going long, right? So that's it briefly for US30. I don't really trade US30 because it moves almost in the same direction with Nasdaq, so I prefer to trade Nasdaq instead, and or the S&P 500 rather than trading the US30. So moving on, we're going to talk about CHF-JPY real quick. So something interesting happened last week. You can see we're clearly still in a bullish trend, right? We are at the bottom, we had a bullish rectangle, and we had this massive bullish move here. And I dropped an analysis in our Discord saying we are going to go long when we take out this resistance level. Meanwhile, on the 1 hour time frame, something really interesting, like there's something important to learn from this price action. I know this looks like an head and shoulder, which it does. So we have the head, we have the left shoulder and the right shoulder, which is usually a trend reversal pattern. So I know so many persons would have gone short around this breakout, right? But there is something very important you have to learn about divergence. So watching out for divergence can actually help you avoid fake outs, right? So now we know this is a bullish trend. There's a good chance price will always continue to go up. But when you get patterns like this and bearish breakouts, it's almost like a 90% certainty that price will go down. But to add more validity to your bias, you watch out for divergence. I did this in our reel yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. If you check for divergence, in this case, we have a bullish divergence. You can see price action making a lower low, right? But the RSI, which is our momentum indicator in this case, made a higher low. So higher lows on the RSI are showing bullish strength, lower lows on the price action showing bearish strength. So we go with what the relative strength index or the momentum indicator is telling us, which means there's a good chance price will go higher. So even if you don't take advantage of this trade by going long, it can help you avoid trading fake outs, right? So if you're going to go short here and you see this, you just simply stay away from the market and let the market do its thing. And you see we had this massive price movement. I always talk about divergence in most of my videos. They work almost all the time. I think there's another chart or two where we had similar situations. So I'm going to show you that as we move forward, right? So my outlook for CHF-JPY would be waiting for price to retest this level, right? If we get a retest from this level and then a reversal, like I said, I usually like to wait for a bullish engulfing candle. Then that would be my scenario to go long, because these highs is just so high, right? It's far from this area of value. So if you're waiting for price to take out this high before you go long, then you would have missed so much movement, right? So if we get a bullish engulfing candle at this area of value, then my stop loss is going to be below the engulfing candle. That will give me a tighter risk to reward ratio, and my entry is going to be at the start of a new candle after the bullish engulfing candle, right, which will send price higher. So something to pay attention to is that on a monthly time frame, CHF-JPY, I'm going to show you that real quick. There is a very good resistance level, right, dating back to you can see below my screen 1980 or 1975. So this is our resistance level on CHF-JPY. So this is the monthly chart. So this highs here might be our next target if this bullish move is to continue, right? And this high date back to 1985. So I'm definitely going to be shorting this when we get into these levels, right? With proper risk management, of course. So I think there's going to be a huge rejection if we get into this level. So I'm preparing so that for CHF-JPY to get to this level. So meanwhile, I'm going to try to look for an opportunity to go long before we get there. And my opportunity to go long would be what I just explained on the 1 hour time frame. So waiting for price reversal back to this area of value with a bullish engulfing candle, then I'm going to go long, right? So while I go long, I'm also going to watch out for a bearish divergence just in case it happens, because you can see we currently have price in the overbought level with a reversal. So if we create a higher high and RSI makes a lower high, that would be a potential opportunity to get out of that long position if indeed this happens. So this is going to be my outlook for CHF-JPY. Something else that may happen is this. So I'm just going to show you another case scenario. So I'm not going to be shorting CHF-JPY right now. I'm just going to wait to see what happens this week. Then probably next week we'll review the market again to see if we can get an opportunity to go short. So something like this could happen. So a movement to the downside, a good consolidation above this area of value, and then a bullish breakout. So this could be another scenario to go long on CHF-JPY. So like this. Then my stop loss is going to be below the consolidation that leads to the breakout, while I aim for the all-time highs. So moving on, we're going to talk about EUR-USD real quick. Yeah, so EUR-USD is still in an ascending channel like we have on gold, but the bulls seem to be aggressive on EUR-USD. So just to show you what I'll be watching out for real quick, I'm going to wait for a consolidation or slight price movement within this space we have here, and then a bullish breakout. So by the time we get a bullish breakout above this resistance level, that will be my scenario to go long, and I'm going to set my stop loss at the consolidation that leads to the breakout. This is just what I'm watching out for on EUR-USD, right? For a long position, because this is clearly a bullish price movement or a bullish trend. While for a short position, I'm going to wait for price to take out this trend line, because this trend line has been so solid. So by the time we take out this trend line, and also I'm not just going to jump into a trade when we take out the trend line. I'm also going to wait for us to take out these lows, right? So by the time we take out this trend line, so you can see I use the range here because we have wicks. So by the time we take out this trend line, and this support level here, then I'm going to go short, right? There's likely going to be a small consolidation at this support level before we get a proper breakout. Then that will be my signal to go short, where my my stop loss is going to be above the consolidation that leads to the breakout. So this is the 4 hour time frame. I'm going to go down to the 1 hour time frame to show you what I'm talking about. So on the 1 hour time frame, this is how the chart looks like, right? I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, so I can explain better. So I'm going to wait for price to come into this area of value, breaking the trend line, consolidate a little, and then give us that breakout. So this will be my signal to go short on EUR-USD. So remember, this range here is a trend line on the ascending channel, okay? So this will be my signal to go short. Whereas for a long position, I'm going to wait for price to slowly, break higher, get a retest, and then a bullish move. But I'm going to wait for this to happen on a 4 hours time frame, because that will give me a much more, solid price movement. Because on the 1 hour time frame, you can see we did get a candle close here, but we had a fake out. So another thing is that you can see how to trade fake outs, right? Excuse me. So just to chip in something real quick. So this is how you trade fake outs. You can see after we get this breakout, if you're waiting for a retest, you can see the candle closed back below the resistance level and gave us a bearish engulfing candle, right? So after the bearish engulfing candle, you could equally just jump into a trade here. It works almost all the time. So I'm just going to show you a price measurement. So you could equally just jump into a trade here, and stop loss is going to be around 40 pips. Take profit is going to be around 70 pips or 80 pips. So good risk to reward ratio if you don't mind making 70 pips profit, or losing 50 pips. So this is how you trade fake outs, okay? So you wait for a breakout while you're waiting for a retest, especially if it happens with a heavy price movement like this. So the breakout, or the fake out that leads the candlestick, the candlestick that leads to the fake out gives us this bearish engulfing candle, showing that there's bearish momentum coming in. Jump to your trade and you just set to take profit at the next potential price movement. So potential price levels, which is the support level here. So this is my scenario to go short, and this is our scenario to go long. Moving on, we're going to talk about GBP-CAD. So we talked about this last week. Price moved exactly as we anticipated, right? So we had a bearish move and now a trend reversal. And we also had a bullish flag. I talked about this last week. I just hope so many of you took advantage of this trade. So this is the daily time frame, and we had a very good breakout from the bullish flag, right? Taking out this resistance level, sending price higher. So I'm going to go down to the lower time frame, let's say the 2 hours time frame, to see what we'll be watching out for to go long or to go short. So mind you, I won't be going short right now because this looks bullish. So I think at least we're going to get to these highs before we think about, you know, having a potential reversal to the downside. So, okay, I'm going to go down to the 1 hour time frame where I can see some sort of a bearish divergence here right now. So if you take a look at these highs, this is something to pay attention to. So just be careful before you go long. You can see price is making a lower highs. Sorry, price is making higher highs while the RSI is making lower highs. So this is a good sign of a bearish divergence. So there's a good chance price will reverse soon, right? So instead of going long, I will advise or recommend you stay patient with the market to see how the price action reacts to this, you know, divergence before you go long or go short. I won't be going short, okay? Even if we get a dump, I won't be going short. That will just give me a better opportunity for a long position, right? So this also could mean price can make a higher high, right? So a blow off top before we dump. And if that happens, that will mean a higher extension of the, you know, bearish divergence, which means we are equally going to make a lower high here. So on the RSI, we might make another lower high, further, you know, validating the bearish divergence. So if we do get something like this with the reversal, then that reversal will give me my opportunity to go long. So I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff on my screen, so I show you a more practical way to get into a trade on GBP-CAD. So what I'll be watching out for on GBP-CAD would be waiting for price to come into this area of value. Maybe we get a reversal, like a retest, and then consolidate a little before we move higher. So this is totally possible. I know so many people will feel like there's no way we are coming back down to this area of value, but the market can be crazy sometimes. So I'm just going to be patient to get something like this before I go long on GBP-CAD. I won't be going short because on the daily time frame it looks bullish, right? So this is going to be my best case scenario to go long. Alternatively, I could just wait for something like this, even if we don't get a retest, but wait for a very good consolidation, right? Then continuation of the trend. So a small bullish flag just like we had here, right? So this one is a big, so this one is a big bullish flag for the daily time frame. So for the 1 hour time frame, we might get a small, you know, bullish flag, right? So the break of that bullish flag will be my scenario to go long with my stop loss below the consolidation that leads to the breakout. So this is for a tighter risk to reward ratio. So this bullish continuation pattern could be a bullish flag, it could be a symmetrical triangle, it could be a rectangle, anything that signifies that the bulls are in control of the market and price is going to go higher. That's what I'm going to be watching out for to go, you know, long on GBP-CAD. At least if this happens, it would have invalidated the bearish divergence I can see on the 1 hour time frame. So that's it briefly for GBP-CAD. I won't be going short. I have no reason to go short on this. Just looking for an opportunity to go long, and this is what I'll be watching out for, right? So either a retest of this area of value followed by a bounce, or a consolidation like a bullish continuation pattern. Moving on, we're going to talk about CAD-JPY real quick. CAD-JPY still in a very solid bullish move, right? Sorry, bullish trend, and we seem to have had some sort of a trend reversal, taking out these lows, right? We took out this low, took this one out, took this one out, but we haven't taken out this one. So this could also mean a continuation of the bullish trend. If you pull up the 5-2, I'm going from these lows here to these highs, you would notice we just bounced off twice off of the 61.8% 5 level, which is a very solid price level, and the resistance level is at the 38.2% level. So I'm going to go down to the lower time frame to show you what I'm watching out for. So there's a good, two things would happen, right? There's a good chance we reverse, okay, taking out this low. That will be our bearish case scenario. That's one. Then there's a good chance we get a breakout above this price level to retest and continuation of the trend. So we're going to go down to the lower time frame to see what's most likely to happen, right? So going down to the 2 hours time frame, really quick, let's see what we have here. So one reason why I believe we might see a reversal, even if not for a long term, even if it's just a temporary reversal, one of the reasons why I feel so is because we had a massive run into the area of value. So whenever we have a massive run into an area of value like this, there's a good chance we either reverse, get rejected, or there's a good chance we consolidate at these price levels, okay, before we go out. And there's a good chance we get a fake out. Bam. So whenever we have massive price movement to the to an area of value like this, there's a good chance either of these things happen, and that will be our scenario to go short. So right now, I'm just going to wait for a candlestick reversal pattern at this price level, which would signal a reversal from this area of value. And if that happens, we're going to go short. That will give us a very very tight risk to reward ratio, because stop loss is just going to be above the candlestick reversal pattern. Why take profit? First take profit is going to be around these lows, then second one is going to be around this support level here, where we watch out for a potential bearish breakout for a trend reversal. Meanwhile, while we're at the resistance level, price is currently overbought. There's a good chance we stay at this overbought level for long, but it simply means the bears might be gearing up for a massive price reversal, because this is a significant area of value right now, so which is this resistance level. So that would be my base case scenario to go short. Whereas for a long position, I'm simply going to wait for a consolidation. There have to be a consolidation. I'm not just going to go long like that, right? I'll have to wait for a consolidation, a breakout. So if this happens, then I'm going to go long just above the breakout, and my stop loss is going to be below the consolidation that leads to the breakout, so which will give me a tighter risk to reward ratio. And my target is going to be around this highs here while I trade the rest of my positions, if I'm able to hold them for that long, right? So the reason why I'm not going to be jumping into a buy position if we get a breakout on Monday, so let's say for example we just get a breakout like this on Monday, I'm not going to be jumping into a buy position. The reason is because my stop loss, I'm going to get rid of this. So let's say I jump into a buy trade here after on Monday when the market opens to the breakout. My stop loss would have to be around these lows, because this is the low that led to the breakout. You see how wide my stop loss will have to be. This is how I trade, because waiting for a consolidation or waiting for maybe something like this. So if we get something like this, maybe a rejection and then a breakout, then that will even be better for me, okay? Because my stop loss would have to be just below the lows that lead to the breakout. This is how I trade, because by the time we take out these lows, it means there's a good chance we might be coming down for a reversal. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a small rejection giving us a higher low closer to the resistance level, and then I'm going to go long at the breakout, right? Or alternatively, I'm just going to wait for a consolidation around these price levels, and if I get that consolidation, that will give me a tighter risk to reward ratio. So let's say for example we get a consolidation like this and then we get a breakout, so I will go long when we break out like this, because the breakout is going to give me a tighter risk to reward ratio, putting my stop loss at the consolidation, below the consolidation that leads to the breakout. So that's it briefly for CAD-JPY. Lastly, we're going to talk about CAD-CHF, requested by one of our community members on Discord. Once again, if you're not on Discord, please follow us on Discord. We share tons of information every week, okay? There are so many expert traders on our Discord that are ready to help you if you need the help, right? So this is a daily time frame of CAD-CHF, clearly a bearish trend. So we're going to focus more on this trend, right? So clearly a bearish trend, but what can we see here? I wouldn't go short at this price level. I know some traders would tell you, we are retesting these lows. So I'm going to put a trend line here. Some traders say you are retesting these lows, then there's a good chance we reverse. Yes, fine. There's a good chance we reverse, but you have to look beyond just price retest, right? What can we see? So testing for divergence, as I said earlier, if you take these lows, right, you can see price action is creating a lower low. So we have a low here, we have another lower low, but on a momentum indicator, which is in this case is the RSI, you can see price made a higher low. Okay, price made a higher low. So this is clearly a bullish divergence, and then you can see we have a spiny top here, right? So this is a spiny top reversal candle just at the low of the divergence. Now you can see this bullish reversal. So the best case scenario would be that we probably see something like this. So I'm going to give you the case scenario in which I'm going to go short, right? So I'm going to wait for price to slowly creep to the upside, touching this area of value. Then I'm going to wait for a candlestick reversal to go short. This would be the best case scenario to go short on CAD-CHF. It requires patience. You need quality trades, then you have to be patient for those trades to happen, right? You have to be patient for that setup, because this is a much more valuable area of value, because we have multiple price rejection at support level and 2 good price rejections as resistance level, right? Now we are having a bullish divergence, which means there's a good chance price goes as high as, coming back to this area of value where we get a reversal candlestick pattern to give us a short position, right? And my stop loss is just going to be above the candlestick that leads to the bearish dump, and my take profit first target is going to be at these lows. Then next target is going to be as low as we get if you're able to hold your positions longer, right? So this is the daily time frame. Let's just quickly go down to the lower time frame to see what we're talking about. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, for example, now we are going to clearly see the market structure as we go higher, right? So on the daily time frame, we can see a very good bullish divergence. Now what happens on the 1 hour time frame? So the 1 hour time frame is most likely going to look like this. We get a move up, higher low, move up, higher low. Remember, price does not move in a straight line, right? Higher low, move up, then we come here. So this is going to be where the market decides if we are going to go higher or go lower, where we are going to look for the opportunity to go short, right? So this is how I'm going to trade CAD-CHF. I'm not just going to jump into a sell position because we're in a bearish trend, right? So this is how I'm going to trade CAD-CHF. There's so many charts we've discussed today. Focusing on just 2 to 3 charts this week is going to make you a lot of money if you're able to focus and stay patient enough for this setup to play out. So that's it briefly for this week's analysis. If you love the content, please like, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to check out our course on Udemy. You're going to learn a lot. So that's it from me this week, guys. See you next week.